You know, the big news on Friday, Arizona Governor Jan Brewer signed landmark immigration legislation that would require police to question people about their immigration status. But not everyone is happy about this new law.
Our failure to act responsibly at the federal level will only open the door to irresponsibility by others. And that includes, for example, the recent efforts in Arizona, which threaten to undermine basic notions of fairness that we cherish as Americans.
We're joined by JD Hayworth, radio talk show host and Arizona Senate candidate running against John McCain in the primary in August. Good morning to you, JD.
Good morning, Gretchen.
When you hear the President of the United States talk about fairness, how do you respond to that?
Well, the president, let me start first with a point of agreement with the president. There has been inaction in Washington. My opponent, John McCain, has vacillated between inaction and amnesty, and now you have this result. But it's not a lack of basic fairness. It's eminently rational that the people of Arizona want to act to secure the border, especially when the federal government has failed to act. And so the legislature passed this common sense piece of legislation, which the governor signed into law. And again, it is built on the notion of enforcement, not the notion of playing up differences in ethnicity. That's where the president and others who are trying to redefine this debate are dead wrong.
Right, because they say that this will lead to racial profiling. How do you respond to that?
Well, it does not. What this does is it empowers local law enforcement, and I should point out that just Friday, the Arizona Police Association, 18 law enforcement entities across the state endorsed my candidacy. Why? Cops on the beat want to enforce the law. All the laws. They are trained professionals. They'll get further training, but it's very clear this is not predicated on ethnicity. It is predicated upon the notion of, at long last, enforcing the laws on the books. Federal laws that the federal government refuses to enforce.
It's interesting because today, apparently, they're calling for a boycott of businesses coming to Arizona. But at the same time, when you look at this very interesting Rasmussen poll, this was the question that people were asked in Arizona. Do you favor or oppose the new Arizona immigration legislation? 70% of the people who live there favor it.
Yes, this legislation is overwhelmingly popular. It's one of the reasons my primary opponent, John McCain, has had a campaign year conversion. He's the gentleman who co-sponsored the amnesty bill with the late Ted Kennedy. Now suddenly he's talking about enforcement because the people want to see it done. Now, the fact is there are a couple of political angles here. I need to break some news for you today, Gretchen. We will be taking over 11,000 signatures on petitions down to the Secretary of State's office to get qualified for the board for the ballot, and I would hope that John McCain at long last will join me in a series of debates on this issue and other issues confronting Arizona because quite frankly he owes it to the people of the state, and we need to get to work debating these issues for Arizona Republicans in preparation for the primary on August 24th.
Well, no doubt it's going to be a very interesting primary season. We have until August 24th to see what the outcome is, but immigration will be front and center in Arizona. JD Hayworth, always good to speak with you. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you, Gretchen.